I would consider myself a fan of Yoko Taro's works. Absolutely love and adore everything about NieR and NieR Automata. Some of my favorite games are right there. I've even suffered through the masochistic task that is completing Drakengard and Drakengard 3. Yes, that includes getting every weapon to level 4. Don't do this. That's a terrible thing to do. And yet, knowing that completing these games are a pain in the ass, I still did. Why would I do that? Am I just a dumbass? Well, yes, but that's not the reason why. It's because everything but the gameplay in Drakengard is goddamn aces. What keeps me thinking about and coming back to these games, regardless of how janky, skunky, and fucky these games can be and are, the writing is some of the best there is in games, the music makes my ears cum, and I just love these characters. I had heard of the Drakengard 3 tie-in manga, Utahime 5, back when I was playing through the game and I got curious what else he's written. Looking through was mostly other tie-ins for Yoko Taro's games, makes sense, but there's one that stood out. Ah shit, an original manga written by Yoko Taro. Kimi shi ni tamau koto nakare. That's a fucking mouthful, man. Just gonna call it Thou Shalt Not Die from here on. Hella hyped, hopped over to see if I can find a torrent. Shit, nothing? Backup plan. I'll read it on whatever manga hosting site I can find it on. I do find it weird that I wasn't able to find a torrent on Thou Shalt Not Die. I'm able to easily find torrents on all his other written works, yet none for this. Even weirder than that, how have I not heard any fucking talk or discussion on this online at all? For reference, on YouTube, I found 2 videos discussing this manga. One in Spanish, can't understand what's being said, and this other minute-long first impressions. Fuck, is this video not good. Motherfucker, you put in the effort to write a script and edit a video. Drop the fucking text-to-speech, grab a mic, and have some fucking confidence in yourself and speak your own words. So yeah, no YouTube presence whatsoever. That's a hell of a hit to getting your name out there. And reading through the first chapter, I think I found 3 reasons why no one talks about Thou Shalt Not Die. First reasons first, the scans of the early chapters are pretty shit. They're not the highest resolution, and every single fucking page have these goddamn watermarks all over it. 1, 2, 3 watermarks, with the worst offender being across the fucking page. It's disgusting and a massive turnoff. The only saving grace for this is that it only lasts for the first 6 of the 59 chapters. After that, no more obtrusive watermarks, but first impressions do stick. Reason 2 that I've got is the brutal hyper-violence on display. Not just the quality of the scans, but the content within can leave an extreme first impression, and for a lot of people, teens getting mulched, misted, and generally massacred with a frequency that almost comes off as casual can be a difficult read. It feels like you're reading through a playthrough of a Drakengard game. Difference being the lack of faceless soldiers by the dozens. These soldiers have the faces of teenagers, and they might even speak too, and you might even come to like some of them before they get slaughtered. But if you're here and you plan on reading this, then you're probably familiar with Yoko Taro's works and are maybe mentally prepared for all this shit. That's just how it is on Yoko Taro's Wild Ride. Oh look, there he is. Off to kill again. Off to kill all the characters you like, all the characters you hate, or maybe just everyone. Ah, and there's another pile of corpses. Other content warnings. There's also incest? Is it incest? I can't really go much more into why I'm confused without spoiling some shit. If and when you get to the part, you'll know where my uncertainty is coming from. And the third reason I've got is that Yoko Taro is not known for manga. He's a video game man, known for his video games, man. That's the sphere he's most known in, with his other works living in the shadow of interactivity. People care most about his video games, especially the Drakengard titles. Hell, I barely hear talk or any reference of Voice of Cards. It really does feel like if Drakengard or NieR isn't anywhere on the box, people just stop caring as much. People crave the gigantic robot asses, and they're not wrong for it. But I do still wonder, if NieR shit is what people care most about, why hasn't Thou Shalt Not Die gained more attention? Thou Shalt Not Die takes place in Japan sometime in the late 2010s, where the Japanese government was like, oh shit, teens can have psychic powers? Shit, man, child soldiers aren't against their constitution so long as we send them to war without any ways to defend themselves. And that they certainly do. After a school is established to train these child soldiers, they are sent to a South American country to fight the enemy, and find themselves deep in absolute shit and get wiped the fuck out. Now, if you're a massive fucking nerd, you might hear that and that might start ringing some bells, depending on how deep you are in the Drakengard lore. I'm pretty confident that Thou Shalt Not Die details the story of the school that took part in the 5th Crusade in Drakengard history. I'll be upfront, I didn't fucking realize this or make the connection whatsoever until doing research on the manga, finding the Fire Sanctuary post detailing a lot of the connections. Spoilers in there, so don't read that before reading the manga. Okay, I gotta be clear here before continuing. I say I'm pretty sure that Thou Shalt Not Die is connected to Drakengard, but as of right now, there's nothing confirming nor deconfirming this. All you've got is Yoko Taro being coy on Twitter when being asked about it, so I would recommend making your own conclusion and not taking mine as hard truth. Anyway, you know how in NieR, the connection to Drakengard is made fairly obvious by detailing the events of ending E from Drakengard? That right there is a direct connection, something that Thou Shalt Not Die doesn't really have. It's entirely likely that these South American forces are Legion, but they're never directly referred to as that. It's entirely likely that this drug is luciferase, but it's never directly referred to as that. There's enough similarities between Thou Shalt Not Die and the 5th Crusade described in Drakengard where you can come up with one of two conclusions. Either Yoko Taro is a hack who constantly uses the same ideas and motifs, or that reuse is deliberate here. Yoko Taro does reuse a ton of ideas in his other games after all. Dude likes characters with white hair. There's tons of them in his shit, including Thou Shalt Not Die. Not only that, while SINoALICE has nothing to do with NieR, SINoALICE is the original concept of NieR. NieR's original premise was about fairy tales, but fucked up, which is also why a lot of the bosses were named after various fairy tale characters. Example, Hansel and Gretel. So looking at SINoALICE feels like looking at an alternate universe where that story was kept for NieR. A shitty alternate universe. Why couldn't SINoALICE have been a real game and not gotcha shit? It does make sense why no one is hyping up Thou Shalt Not Die as a Drakengard manga. Not only for the previously mentioned reasons of it being hard to get into, making it so a lot of the people will drop it before seeing a lot of the possible threads, but also those threads being so incredibly esoteric that even people, like me, who really like Drakengard won't even pick up on it. Even if it does have that possible connection, most importantly, is Thou Shalt Not Die good? Do I even recommend reading through it? I mean, I liked it. I also like Drakengard 3, so I feel like I was predisposed into finding things about it I liked before diving on in. Much like Drakengard 3, I feel like this will be very divisive for those who give the manga a shot. It's got a lot of weird and fucked up shit. There's some humor throughout. Every character has their own flavor of fucked up and psychopathy. Reading through this, it felt very close in tone to Drakengard 3, so if you like that shit, Thou Shalt Not Die will be a lot easier to get into. If you know Yoko Taro is that funny moon man who made that game about robots with huge asses, it might not be as easy, but I found the manga to be a fun read at least. I tend to like Yoko Taro's writing, and the art by Moriyama Daisuke is solid throughout. Shit looks nicely drawn, gore is gory, and he uses the medium to its advantage in a couple spots, such as a two-shot on a page of simultaneous events, or purposely leaving out the background in some panels for the reveal of a truck flying at some guy. While I can't sit here and give a hard and fast recommendation, at this point you should have a good idea of how interested you are in reading Thou Shalt Not Die for yourself.